At 6 o'clock, it's 81 degrees in Milwaukee. Tonight, we'll get some scattered storms. Early in the evening, it'll be humid with a low of 65 degrees. Wednesday's looking to be mostly cloudy with some evening heavy rain and storms with a high of 73 degrees. From the WTMJ Breaking News Center, I'm Sean Brenda. Another Wisconsin connection from the Minnesota lawmaker shooting suspect.
Property records show Vance Belter owned a building in Brillion for 4 years. According to our news partners at NBC 26, he purchased a building on Water Street under the name of his business Revo Formation Ministries, Inc. in November 2007. He bought it from Trinity Evangelical Lutheran Church, which had previously operated its school there. Church officials say he didn't appear to do much at the building, only clean it out a bit before selling it to High Tech Electrical Services, Inc. in 2012. Jessica Gatso, WTMJ News.
Assembly Speaker Robin Vos has requested extra security in the Capitol for the state assembly session tomorrow. And lawmakers in Wisconsin are calling out threats of political violence. Wisconsin State Senator Chris Larson tells Wisconsin's Afternoon News that he believes that not all people are bad.
Most people are good people, and I keep coming back to that. As a public servant, you have to love people to be out there every day and be accessible to them, whether it's at a town hall or in a grocery store when people want to talk to you. You got to be ready to hear them and meet them where they're at. And for the most part, people are respectful and respect the bounds.
Larson says he hopes more can be done for law authorities to help shut down hate groups instead of putting more resources into protecting lawmakers. And there is a bipartisan effort just now getting underway in Congress to prevent U.S. involvement in the Israel-Iran war. ABC News national correspondent Stephen Portnoy has more from Washington.
The concurrent resolution drafted by GOP Congressman Thomas Massie of Kentucky has been joined by several prominent House Democrats, including Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez and Ilhan Omar. A similar measure has been introduced in the Senate by Virginia Democrat Tim Kaine. Both would invoke the War Powers Resolution and call for the removal of U.S. forces from the conflict. Congress sent President Trump 2 such bills during his first term in response to U.S. actions in Yemen and Iran. Trump rejected both of them. Neither had enough support to override his veto.
And some Wisconsin residents could face challenges if there are cuts to federal spending. A new report from the Wisconsin Policy Forum shows cuts to Social Security, Medicare, and Medicaid could impact over 1 million residents. President Jason Stein tells WTMJ.
Other programs include food stamps, higher education, a number of programs there, including research at the University of Wisconsin and other higher ed institutions, grants to K-12 schools, and then grants for roads and bridges and transportation. Those are some of the big ones.
According to the report, Wisconsin continues to lag behind other states in receiving federal payments. Sports, traffic, weather, and next Outdoor Living Unlimited. WTMJ News time is 6:03.
WTMJ's John Mercure here. Will interest rates go up or down? We'll know much more June 18th when the Fed announces its next rate decision. Do you wonder how the announcement will impact your decisions, maybe your portfolio? Join Annex Wealth Management's chief economist, Dr. Brian Jacobson, for Instant Insight. 2 p.m. June 18th, Instant Insight is when Annex kind of goes live after important announcements like the Fed announcement to help explain what it means for you and for your money. It's free. Register now at WTMJ.com or events at AnnexWealth.com, June 18th, 2 p.m.
At Hazelden Betty Ford, treating mental health isn't just about breaking old patterns. It's about braving new ones. As the leader in alcohol and drug treatment for 75 years, we know caring for addiction, anxiety, depression, and trauma goes hand in hand. We're here for you with new tools when life breaks down. Discover your path to better mental health at hazeldenbettyford.org/Wisconsin. Sponsored by Hazelden Betty Ford Foundation.
WTMJ's Eric Bilstead here for QC Kinetics. The big focus in America today is on your health, right? So why aren't you feeling any better? Your knees always hurt, your shoulders keep you from exercising, and you're done with all the pills and the steroids, and you cringe at the thought of surgery. You've done everything, but the pain is always there. It's exhausting. This is when you got to call QC Kinetics. It's revolutionary treatment. It works to give your body long-term relief. Regenerative treatments takes your body's own healing power and helps and restore your damaged tissue. Call QC Kinetics today and get yourself a free sit-down. Talk to Dr. Justine Bennon. She's great. I've met with her. You can walk through the process with her. She explains it in a way that's understandable, and she can do the same for you. 414-285-3474. Call QC Kinetics today and get your life back. 414-285-3474. That's 414-285-3474. Call QC Kinetics today.
Time for a WTMJ Sports Update from the Gruber Law Offices. One call, that's all Sports Desk. The Brewers begin a 3-game series against the Cubs tonight in Chicago. After a successful debut against the Cardinals, rookie Jacob Misiorowski will make his first Wrigley Field start on Wednesday. Manager Pat Murphy tells Wisconsin's Morning News.
You're obviously concerned about the second start just because was he able to get his feet on the ground, or is it like he's on roller skates? He's not quite solid yet because of the newness of everything and all that's coming at him now. You just hope he can get grounded very quickly.
The Oklahoma City Thunder are 1 win away from earning an NBA title. They own a 3-2 series lead over the Pacers in the NBA Finals. Game 6 is scheduled for Thursday night in Indianapolis. Taking a look at your roads with your WTMJ time saver traffic. We've got a couple of incidents on the road. Ran from I-41 94 north to I-41 43 894 west. Shoulders are blocked due to a crash. Then over on Wisconsin Route 175 south at West Wells Avenue, the right shoulder is blocked due to a disabled vehicle. Other than that, roads are looking pretty clear across southeast Wisconsin. All right, time for your WTMJ 5-day forecast. Tonight's going to be mostly cloudy and muggy with a chance for widely scattered storms early in the evening with a low of 65 degrees. Wednesday, mostly cloudy, rain with thunderstorms likely with a heavy rain possible with 1 to 2 inches of total rain expected with a high of 75 degrees. Thursday, partly cloudy, slight chance of evenings thunderstorms with a high of 80 degrees. Friday, partly cloudy and warm with a chance of thunderstorms with a high of 84 degrees. Saturday, mostly sunny, breezy, hot and humid with a high of 90 degrees. Right now in Madison, it is currently 84 degrees, and Waukesha is 87 degrees, and Green Bay it's 85 degrees, and right here in Milwaukee, it's 81 degrees. I'm Sean Brinda, Outdoor Living Unlimited. WTMJ News Time is 6:07.
Your need-to-know cultural snapshot of Wisconsin and beyond. This is What's on Tap with Sandy Maxx, sponsored by Visit Milwaukee. A deep dive into all things intriguing, riveting, and entertaining. Now, here's your host, Sandy Maxx.
Thank you for listening to What's on Tap, sponsored by Visit Milwaukee. Handcrafted, homegrown, world-class. Discover more at visitmilwaukee.org. A shorter half-hour show stacked with Summerfest suggestions and a Wisconsin Theater's 90th anniversary to celebrate. Before baseball, as the Milwaukee Brewers take on the Chicago Cubs at Wrigley Field this evening, let's get right into helping you maximize your musical intake at Summerfest this year. From my Summerfest Soundcheck special, these are my guests from Milwaukee World Festival, the nonprofit organization that produces the world's largest music festival every year. President and CEO Sarah Pancari and VP Sales and Development Kevin Kennedy with a preview of every headliner of the 9 days, plus other performer suggestions to see. Sarah, who do we have to look forward to on June 19th, Thursday, opening night at the American Family Insurance Amphitheater?
Def Leppard with Tesla.
Yes.
I know. I figured you'd be excited about that. We couldn't be more excited. I mean, Hall of Fame rockers, they're just the best, and they sound great, and it's going to be a great show.
They deliver, because I saw
really
them at AmFam Field a few summers ago, and I'd never seen them before.
Yeah.
After all this time,
and there's so many
great
hits, right? The catalog is really, really deep, and Tesla's a great opener.
Yes.
But then the next night, Friday, we're going to welcome Hozier. His first performance at the festival, really excited. You know, tickets sold really, really well for him. Really special performance, right? So you've got all this energy behind him, and then closing the weekend with James Taylor. James Taylor with Jason Mraz, which is the only pairing in the country that you'll see those two together.
I love that Summerfest is that slice of special.
James Taylor, he's always a great performance, and so we're really excited for him in the amphitheater. But wait, there's more. Opening weekend, really excited to be celebrating Juneteenth with our friends at Northcott Neighborhood House. Of course, all the festivities that'll take place on King Drive. Come to Summerfest that night to see artists like the Isley Brothers, local Eric Benet, of course. We're really excited about that. Him coming home to play Summerfest. Bone Thugs and Harmony, Mike Jones, Genuine Fabulous, Gary Clark Jr.
I'm gonna hold you just a little bit closer until I'm home.
I figured you'd be excited to see Gary Clark Jr.
I almost interrupted you. You see me? I was like sitting on my hands. I was like, Gary Clark Jr. is going to be here too.
It's going to be great.
For opening night, that is stellar.
And that's just opening day, right? So there's lots and lots more artists. And as you know, I always say, download your app. Go to summerfest.com, plan your schedule, because there's nothing worse for us than to hear, oh, I didn't know they were playing. I mean, there's just so much music at Summerfest that we really want folks to check into the full lineup, because there's lots of curated opportunity to see. If you like the headliner, you'll probably like the 3 or 4 bands before.
Yeah, and just being able to tap so that way you're populating your schedule and you can see where those
opportunities happen if you're walking one way or another. Like, oh, I can see part of that show.
Right.
Because I'm going to meet friends at the North End or at the South End.
You bet.
Second weekend of Summerfest, June 26th, 27th, 28th. Who is rocking the American Family Insurance Amphitheater then?
In a 4x4 bayou, from the bayou to Kentucky.
Lainey Wilson performed for us at the U.S. Cellular Connection stage a couple years ago. And like many Summerfest stories, to have an artist who performs earlier in the day a couple of years ago and give their career a couple more years, and she's just going to do great in the amphitheater.
She's an it girl.
She is amazing.
She
so if you've
hosts
watched
award shows,
she
but
does.
She's got great music. She's
She
a
does.
sensation.
She is. So we're really excited to bring Lainey back. That's going to be super exciting. And then beyond that weekend, of course, the Killers.
That's got a huge buzz.
A huge buzz, but also Cold War Kids is a great support band for that. That's going to be a great show in and out of itself. I know that was one of our favorites last year.
Yeah, they played at the Miller Lite Oasis last year. So to have them coupled with the Killers, I think that's going to be a huge show for us the second weekend.
And then Megan Thee Stallion to finish the weekend. So
Whenever, what's up? It's whatever. It's whenever, what's up? It's whatever. It's whenever.
I mean, she is an absolute party. It'll be great. So anchored by two women on either side with the Killers in the middle, it's going to be a great weekend. But the grounds are also stacked. You've got Riley Green, Young the Giant, Here Come the Mummies, The Fray is tracking really, really well. One of our favorites again, Cake.
Oh, how do you afford your...
So to have Cake back at the festival is exciting.
How can you afford your rock and roll lifestyle?
I think Billy...
Cake is so great. For as much as I've lived in that and worked in that alternative world in my Chicago radio life and Atlanta radio life and even Milwaukee radio life, like they're one of those bands I never wound up seeing. So I'm excited to see Cake, and there's a buzz around them too.
I always said, don't tease me with Cake. That was like a line every year. And this year the team said, no, we're not teasing you this time. It's actually happening. So really excited about that.
I think Billy Corgan. He's touring right now with a side project, but it's my understanding they do play some of the Smashing Pumpkin hits. I think that's one that's going to be big. I don't know if it's getting as much notoriety because it doesn't come with the Smashing Pumpkins name next to it, but I'm really excited about that one. I mentioned Avett Brothers before as well, too. That's going to be a great show for us.
Well, and you, Devo, aren't you particularly excited to see Devo?
Oh, yes.
Give the pass a slip.
Devo's very much on my short list because I saw them on a hot Friday afternoon at 4 p.m. at Lollapalooza several years ago. Amazing.
Yeah, they deliver.
Amazing.
Big
They
time.
have the video
Big
screens,
time.
but they come in the yellow jumpsuits. Yes, you're going to see the red flower pot hats. Like, they embrace their music. They're going to put on a theatrical, interesting show.
It's
And
gonna be
I think
great.
people who have enjoyed them ever since they were a teenager are going to be fulfilled. And I think people who are walking by who don't have any idea who they are going to go, what is going on in this spectacle? Like, this is incredible. Can you tell how much I can regale you
This is why we
yes,
always were
Devo.
fast friends. You truly are a music fan.
So the third weekend of Summerfest, the headliners on the American Family Insurance Amphitheater stage.
So this is the breakout story that we love to tell. Benson Boone will play in the amphitheater on July 3rd.
Bouncy and acrobatic Benson Boone.
You bet. You bet. And
With a belting out voice and the #1 streamed song last year, but good Lord.
yes, I think Kevin and I both listen to Beautiful Things quite a bit because we have daughters about the same age. But truly, I think a testament to our team in that they said, okay, we're going to contact the team and we're going to offer him an opportunity in the amphitheater. And we put them through all the paces always like, okay, how's this going to do? What do you think? What does it mean? And so excited to say that his arena tour that went on sale after we had booked him, I think it sold out almost in minutes or hours. So he's wildly popular, really, really excited to bring him. He actually opened up for Imagine Dragons a couple of years ago. So coming back to the amphitheater stage.
Interesting.
On July 4th, we've got Bad Omens. Spirit Box and Become as Romans, a hard rock show. So the thing about the festival, as you well know, is that we're talking about Megan Thee Stallion, we're talking about country with Lainey Wilson, and then we're going to go hard rock with Bad Omens. You know, they're an up-and-coming band, really, really exciting stuff coming out of their new album, It's All Good. And then finally, we're going to close the festival on July 5th with the Lumineers.
I belong with you, you belong with me, my sweetheart. I belong with you, you belong with me, my
which we're really, really excited about. Bringing the Lumineers are playing stadiums in other cities, and they're coming to play the amphitheater to close Summerfest this year.
Truly ending on a high note. That's another band that I feel like just brings people together.
It's a
good
sing-along.
feeling.
Yeah. And, Hippocampus, who's going to open for them, is a band that headlined a ground stage last year. So, again, that great story about how bands graduate up into the amphitheater.
You could argue that we have two of the biggest pop acts with us the last week, and we mentioned Benson Boone, but then also Alex Warren. Who's playing on the US Cellular stage on July 4th. And I think he could be the next act that comes here on a ground stage and then in a year or two is playing on the amphitheater level. So I think having those two here are huge for us. But of course, 311.
Yes.
One of our favorites. Growing up in Iowa, being back in high school and college, they were one of my favorites. So anytime they come back here, they're always one of my favorites to see. And they still put on a great show.
Don't miss Boss Man D-Lo or Loud Luxury, which is two completely different genres, right? So that's that discovery piece that we were talking that's so, so special.
Yeah. And also you've got Japanese metal.
Yeah.
Baby Metal, that's right. It's an all-female group that mixes Japanese pop and heavy metal. And that's one of the acts that internally in the office and our entertainment team has been telling us to keep an eye out for, because I guess it's an incredible show. So I am excited to see what that's going to be all about.
Finally, the third weekend, don't miss Chicago. Chicago's playing the BMO Pavilion on July 4th. I think Chicago's going to be one of the best shows of the festival.
Can't argue with that show suggestion at all. That's just a portion of the great insights on the WTMJ Summerfest Soundcheck special that you can hear on demand. Go to the What's on Tap page at WTMJ.com or wherever you get your podcasts. Search for WTMJ's What's on Tap, and you can hear more on the Summerfest Soundcheck special about admission tips, pit pass hacks, must-have food and fashion, pickleball, a mechanical bull, and a whole lot more. Get set up with the Summerfest Soundcheck and the What's on Tap podcast. Next, a 90th anniversary in Wisconsin theater to celebrate. I'm Sandy Maxx. Stay with me on What's on Tap.
With all the positive Google reviews continuing to pour in for Rich Lawn's Tire and Service Centers, we want you to know we appreciate you.
You were due for service, we delivered, and then you went the extra mile and wrote a few kind words about the service you experienced.
Yeah, thank you so much. Michael, Glenn, Jeff, Lisa, Carol, Jason, John,
Wait,
Michelle,
hang on a
Ryan.
second, Dad. As fun as it may be to name every single person who's ever left us a Google review, there just isn't enough time. We get 60 seconds, and I'd say we've got about 28 left.
Ah, good point, Courtney.
Listen, we appreciate every last one of you for helping us maintain a nearly 5-star Google rating. And we're going to keep on shooting for the stars, especially when it comes to providing top-notch auto repair service.
Yep, and remember, be safe, buckle up, and hey, always make sure you've got good tread on your tires. Peter, Bruce, Samantha, Kimberly, Nick, Heather,
Oh,
Marissa,
Dad.
George, Jeremy, Diane, Brad, Paul.
Rich Lawns.
Summer in Milwaukee is non-stop.
Festivals, live music, and fresh city vibes fill the season.
From world-famous cultural celebrations to hidden gem street fairs, every neighborhood is a stage, alive with handcrafted traditions, homegrown talent, and world-class entertainment.
Music, flavor,
Culture. Whenever you visit, the Cream City is ready to celebrate. This summer, don't just visit, experience Milwaukee, the city of festivals. Learn more at visitmilwaukee.org/fest.
CertaPro Painters, the best in the business. WTMJ's John Mercure here. My wife and I were shocked at how thoughtful they are, how amazing they are, how they moved things that needed to be moved and got their jobs done fast and efficiently. Schedule your free estimate at CertaPro.com. That's Certa with a C. Slots are filling up fast. Now's the time for your home or your business. Get on their schedule. They will transform your house. It'll be the best-looking house in the neighborhood. The teams I trust are at CertaPro Painters. Each CertaPro Painters business is independently owned and operated.
You're listening to What's on Tap with Sandy Maxx on WTMJ.
That is the music from the 1967 movie Barefoot in the Park. But you can see Barefoot in the Park in a park setting this summer at one of Wisconsin's beloved theaters, celebrating their 90th anniversary this summer. Peninsula Players Theater, tucked away on the scenic shores of Green Bay and Door County. They are opening their 2025 season tonight with Barefoot in the Park It's 90 years. It's since 1935. It's just kind of a trip to roll back. But what an accomplishment. And big congratulations to the cast, the crew, everyone in the front office, everyone who loves going to see PPT over the years. They started with a canvas tent. It was a sister and a brother, Caroline and Richard Fisher. They started it in a garden behind a motel in Fish Creek, Wisconsin. At the time, the quote was, they had 2 planks and a passion. So it was those, let's just put on a show in the backyard. 2 years later, it moved to the location where it is now, and it's evolved into this beautiful all-weather pavilion. So you've got some cover, but you've got the open-air side so you can catch a breeze on a beautiful summer night or even a September or October night. And we can be really proud that Peninsula Players Theater here in Wisconsin is America's oldest professional resident summer theater. And there are so many great stories. I can't get into all of it tonight before the baseball game, but Broadway stars have been on that stage. Harvey Korman has performed on that stage, if you ever watched the Carol Burnett show. But lots of local talent have been on that stage performing shows of all kinds. And so raise a glass or a can to 90 seasons of storytelling and tradition and summer nights well spent, and make plans to go see a performance there this summer because they've got a good balance of classic and contemporary. So tonight, opening night of Barefoot in the Park, which is a classic romantic comedy by playwright Neil Simon, opens tonight, goes through July 6th. And there was definitely a focus on trying to have this balance. PPT artistic director Linda Fortunato said that this summer's lineup was designed to, quote, bring big laughs, intense thrills, soaring music, and even a few tears. Gonna feel some emotion. So you've got Barefoot in the Park, then Steel Magnolias in September and October. And then for the kind of thrilling and contemporary side of things, Misery. Remember that movie, the Stephen King novel? That is going to be July 9th through the 27th. And a show called Dear Jack, Dear Louise in August, a love story based on real-life 1940s correspondence. And for you musical fans, Little Women, the Broadway musical, will be on stage at PPT July 30th through August 17th. So make your plans. PeninsulaPlayers.com is their website. And if it's your first time going within their 90 years, I am sure they will welcome you. And if you want to return, they will be delighted to entertain you. Go support Wisconsin theater and help them last another 90 years. I am Sandy Maxx, and you know I'm a big music fan. We just talked about a whole bunch of bands coming to Summerfest. Well, a beloved band from Milwaukee returns to rock the Riverside this fall. I will share today's concert announcement with you next on What's on Tap.
Lake Geneva is the Midwest's premier golf destination, featuring breathtaking views, crystal clear lakes, and rolling fairways. Treat yourself to an all-inclusive golf getaway with courses designed for all skill levels, luxurious lodging, distinctive dining, and a relaxing spa. Plan a Lake Geneva group golf outing, a corporate event, or a weekend getaway with friends or family. Their pros will help you plan a memorable golf experience. For info on courses and more, visit lakegeneva.com today. Lake Geneva, it's always been the place for legendary golf.
UW-Madison is one of the country's leading hubs for supporting life-changing research and building a skilled workforce. An investment in UW-Madison helps make a healthier Wisconsin, build strong businesses, and win the war for workforce talent, not just in Madison, but across our entire state. Visit uwalumni.com/UW5 to tell your legislators to support UW-Madison in the Wisconsin state budget. That's uwalumni.com/UW5. Paid for by the Wisconsin Alumni Association.
WTMJ's John Mercure here. Will rates go up or down? We'll know more on June 18th. That's when the Fed announces its next rate decision. If you're wondering how the Fed's announcement will impact your decisions from buying a new home to planning your investments, join Annex Wealth Management's chief economist, Dr. Brian Jacobson, for Instant Insight, 2 p.m. on June 18th. Instant Insight is when Annex goes live after important announcements like the Fed's announcement with their reaction and helps explain what it means for you and for your money. It's free. When it comes to your financial future, a bit of expert insight could help you understand what's going on. Visit WTMJ.com or events at AnnexWealth.com and register now for Instant Insight, the Fed and the Markets, June 18th at 2 p.m. It's live and it's free. After the Fed makes its announcement, register now. Visit WTMJ.com or events at AnnexWealth.com. Register now for Instant Insight, the Fed and the Markets, June 18th. 2 p.m. It's live and it's free, but you must register. Check it out.
This is What's on Tap with Sandy Maxx.
Blister in the sun, let me go on. Big hands, I
Beloved band from Milwaukee, Violent Femmes. Full of legend, full of lore, discovered in the 80s, busking on a street corner. The lore. It's a wonderful story. We might get into it, but Violent Femmes fans, you have something to look forward to. They just announced today that they are returning to their hometown to rock the Riverside Theater on a Saturday night in October. Saturday, October 18th. Violent Femmes at the Riverside, and it's a special hometown show to end their U.S. fall tour. So this is going to be special. Now, might be an after party. You know how it is. After a long tour, they might be willing to hang out afterwards and maybe play a longer show because it's special and in their city. So I guarantee it's going to be a special show, and I love that they're looking forward to this. Lead singer Gordon Gano, his quote is, "Hey, going out again to play our classics along with stuff that no one has heard, even us." Lead vocalist and guitarist, he said, "Hope to see you and rock and roll with the rock." So it should be a whole lot of fun. I mean, just that first album, that debut album is a true classic. And add it up, this is Gone Daddy Gone. And it's kind of cool that new folks and fans are discovering Violent Femmes because Blister in the Sun was recently featured with classical instrumentation in the trailer for the Netflix show Four Seasons. So, like, as they evolve, more people discover them. So I'm happy that Milwaukee music is in the spotlight. And if you want to go see Violent Femmes, October 18th at the Riverside Theater, good news, tickets will go on sale on Friday, June 20th. And remember, I was telling you, boy, I love that first album. I love the second album, too. This is going to be called, because it's ending their entire tour, An Evening with the Violent Femmes. So it's like, ooh, what does that mean? It's special. Well, their hometown show, October 18th at the Riverside, they're going to perform their first two albums in their entirety. Oh, yeah. So all of those songs that you think of, to actually see them being performed live by Gordon Gano, Brian Ritchie, and John Sparrow has been the drummer for the past pretty good length of time. And John Sparrow even rolls out a Weber grill to play drums on. And I can tell you that because if you have PBS Passport with Milwaukee PBS, which is the streaming service, you can still watch the Violent Femmes performing with the Milwaukee Symphony Orchestra. That was an incredible special that Milwaukee PBS produced, and very cool to see longtime fans and to see Violent Femmes performing with an orchestra. So that was very special. That was a one-of. They aren't going to be playing with the orchestra on October 18th, but they are going to play every song on those first two albums in their entirety. And those are really formative albums and influential. Think about it. There is no other sound like Violent Femmes. There is no other, you can hear their influence, but there is no other band that sounds exactly like Violent Femmes, I don't think. And that's what makes it special. It makes it unique. I was going to look up the first two albums. Like, I know what they are, but sometimes it's like, you might misremember. But that first, here we go, Violent Femmes discography, because I'm sorry, I really like, okay, so Violent Femmes, the first album has all those songs: Kiss Off, Add It Up, Prove My Love, Confessions, Please, Please, Please Do Not Go. Lots of good songs on that album, but Hallowed Ground, that second album, you know how you think of like American Gothic? And they tell some really, really grim, fascinating stories on Hallowed Ground. So check it out. If you're a Violent Femmes fan and haven't seen them in a while or want to see them for the first time, it's going to be a great show. October 18th at the Riverside Theater. Tickets go on sale on Friday. vfemmes.com is where you can get those. I am Sandy Maxx. Thanks so much for hanging out with me and for listening to What's on Tap, sponsored by Visit Milwaukee.
Zero sugar, just 100 calories, and of course, all the good vibes. From fruity flavors to refreshing fizz, Carbless stands out in a sea